Hare Krishna. Folks, welcome to Thursday's special association on folk life. The topic today is on what if Krishna becomes your friend? Yes, he is our friend. He is the Surdam Sarva Bhutanam. He is not only friend of us, he is friend of every living entity. Now, how do you develop that friendship? What if he becomes our friend? Examples from his intimate friendship from the scriptures. More from this today's session. Fold your hands. Let us get the blessings of Srila Prabhupada to understand this special fraternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. We all have friends, we need friends. What is life without friends? Generally, friends we expect to be loyal, to be affectionate, to be dependable 24/7. He can cross all the limits for his friend. That's what the friend we expect from our material life. But generally, we don't get such friends. That is a challenge with this material world. That's why Krishna promises in the Gita to Arjuna, I am telling this particular knowledge, the most confidential knowledge. Why I am telling this? Because you are my friend and my devotee. That's why Krishna revealed this wonderful knowledge of Gita. And another reason which Krishna tells Arjuna that why I am sharing this knowledge, why I became intimate friend of you, because you are anasuyave, you are non-envious. All of us mortal beings living in this material world are full of envy. Icha, dvesha, samuttena, dvanda, mohena, bharata. Because of the desire to enjoy independent of Krishna and hatred towards Krishna, we are in this material world. But our loving friend Krishna, out of his deep affection and intimate relationship with us, he never forgets us. He comes in the form of Paramatma and he stays with us as a guide, as a friend, as a mentor. But we don't take his instructions, we don't take his guidance. And he comes down personally to this material world and performs this wonderful leelas. So we're going to discuss few leelas of Krishna where he performed a wonderful pastime, being a friend of Arjuna, being a friend of Galas, being a friend of Sudama. This will give us a hint what kind of friendship to be established with Krishna, and how if we become friend of Krishna, what can happen to us, and how to do that at the fag end of my present talk today. Recently, I came across a song which was trending, Tere Vaste Falak se मैं चांद लेके आऊँगा. So they were telling, mean to say, तुम्हारे लिए मैं चांद तोड़ के लेके आ सकता हूँ. But they actually can't do anything. They can only poetfully sing such songs, and that's all. They can't actually do it. But here we have an instance where Krishna had covered the sun, uncovered the sun, bought the sun, got the sun back. And that is a particular pastime which happened on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna had a son and who was Abhimanyu, and he was cheatingly killed by the Kauravas. The 6 great Atirathis and Maharathis combined together, although he could break the Chakravyuha, but unfortunately couldn't come out of the Chakravyuha, and he was valiantly, unfortunately killed by the combined efforts of the Maharathis. But the one who was blamed for actually killing Abhimanyu was Jayadratha. When Arjuna got to know about his son's fate, that he is killed, and he took a vow that before the next day's sunset, I would kill Jayadratha, or else I would embrace fire. I would jump into the fire and kill myself. I would commit suicide. Knowing the word of Arjuna, the entire Kauravas conspired. They made sure that somehow or the other, if we can make sure Jayadratha is protected for the day, we would actually win the war. Arjuna gone, Jayadratha is kept safe, we win the war. That's it. So that was the plan, that was the strategy of the Kauravas. And they arranged the phalanx in such a way that Jayadratha was exactly at the center, and the entire Kauravas were geared up to protect the life of Jayadratha till the sunset. Next day, the sun rose and the conch shell blew and the fight began. And it went on till 4:30, another muhurta for the sun to set. And Arjuna, although fought valiantly, but this kind of phalanx which was set by the Kauravas, he couldn't pierce, he couldn't come even close to Jayadratha, what to speak of fighting with him and killing him. Looking at the condition, his dearmost friend Krishna, what did he do? He requested his servant Sudarshana to go and cover the sun, and immediately the entire area was covered with darkness. They thought the sun has set and they can rejoice, and the news, when they got it is dark, they were so jubilant, they were so happy, they were so excited that we have won the war. We own the kingdom of the entire earth, because now Arjuna is going to kill himself. Moment this was known to Jayadratha that his life has been spared, out of joy he raised from the hidden phalanxes. He was a giant personality, tall in nature. Moment this happened, Krishna mystically asked Sudarshana to uncover the sun, and sun was there at 4:35. Immediately Arjuna was instructed by Krishna, shoot him, kill him. Krishna can do anything for his friend. This is the statement, this is an example of his friendship for Arjuna, because Arjuna was such a kind devotee of him. And because of him, Prabhupada in the Bhagavad Gita purport writes how he became Kudakesha. Because of his friendship and devotion to Krishna, he could conquer both sleep and ignorance. Following in the footsteps of Arjuna, we can also do so, provided we tread the path of Arjuna by becoming his devotee. And becoming his devotee in Kali Yuga is very simple. Chant Hare Krishna, follow 4 regulative principles, and just do it for Prabhupada. Another wonderful example. Can you imagine you sitting in a car, and imagine your driver being Narendra Damodar Das Modi or Biden, the President of United States of America? It's a joke, right? It would be a you can get Imran Khan, but not on a lighter note. So here you have a friend who is the supreme personality of God at Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka, creator of the whole universes, causal creator. He has agreed to become a charioteer or a driver for his dearmost friend Arjuna. So that is the loving relationship what Krishna has with his dearmost devotee Arjuna. Not only that, when he was depressed seeing Drona, Bhishma and his relative standing in front of him, ready to sacrifice their own life for fighting with him, he was completely perplexed, depressed, and he had decided not to fight the battle. At that moment, when he was completely perplexed, confused, dejected, and he decided not to fight, Krishna, as a friend, as a mentor, as a guide, as a counselor, as a guru, he instructed this immortal Gita. In just 45 minutes, 40 to 45 minutes, he could make his friend overcome the depression. Just imagine, any friend today who can get you over depression in just 40 minutes? Krishna did it for his friend Arjuna. And after hearing this, Arjuna was very clear what to do. He just asked, bro, what should I do? Tell me, I am ready to do anything and everything, whatever you say. Before Gita, what was his condition? After Gita, what was his condition? In the same way, similarly, we go through difficulties, challenges, problems, obstacles, issues in our lives. But if we take the shelter of our friend, Krishna, his instructions in the form of Gita, we can also go through these difficulties and grow through difficulties and attain Krishna. Because as long as we are in this material world, we will continue to experience difficulties and challenges that are part and parcel, because dukkhalema shashvatam, it is a place of miseries, it is temporary. But we have a guide, mentor in the form of Krishna's instruction and Prabhupada's purport of those instructions. And if we adopt those principles in our life, Just like Arjuna was victorious on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he single-handedly, 18 days, 64 crore people were massacred for his cause, Krishna's cause. We become instruments in his hands. What to speak of other challenges? Our challenges are chutkus, but if we can have Krishna with us, Arjuna was privileged and fortunate to have Krishna directly instructing. Today we don't have Krishna in that sense to guide us, but we have his instruction in the form of Bhagavad Gita and the purports of Srila Prabhupada, and we can feel the presence of Krishna and take his instruction, reading Bhagavad Gita and by chanting the names of Krishna. That is a special feature we have. Any moment, anywhere, in any condition, Krishna will be there with us. We have to Kirtaniya Sadahari, Satatayuktanam, Ananya Chintiyantosmam. That is the instruction of the Gita. Ma Manusmar Yuddhacha. Think of me and fight. And you will, if you tread the path of Arjuna, then Krishna is there always with you. Another classical example, for a Kshatriya to break his promise to not to keep up his word is worse than committing suicide, is worse than anything else in the world. Prana jaya para vachanana jaya. That's the spirit of a Kshatriya. Even today, to a certain extent, people who have that spirit, maine bol diya to bol diya khatam. Imagine, Krishna is called Satya Sankalpaha. His promises never go in vain. Satya Vachaha. Whatever he says is eternal truth. He is the Supreme Lord. He is the lawmaker. Now here is a classical example on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. When Bhishma was accused by Duryodhana that, grandfather, you're not fighting the way you should have been fighting. You are partial towards Pandavas. I don't see that vigor and energy in your fight, in your body language. This is not fair. You are maintained by us. You're duty bound to fight for us. I don't see that vigor in you. And that hurt the ego of Bhishma in so much so that he took a vow then and there in front of Duryodhana and promised these 5 arrows from his quiver. He just showing it to him said and promised, either I'll kill Pandavas, the 5, with these 5 arrows, or Keshava will break his promise. And the next day, the battle was furious. Bhishma was on his peak of his fighting spirit, chivalrous. He was shooting arrows left, right and center, so much so that it was hurting not only Arjuna but even Krishna. There was time when then Arjuna was supposed to be finished by the ferocious arrow shot by Bhishma. Krishna at that point of time never cared about his word, because he had promised before the battlefield of Kurukshetra that I'll never lift a weapon, I'll never take sides. But when he saw his devotee, friend, Krishna, saw Arjuna in that poor state of affair, not able to defend the arrows of Bhishma. And again, Bhishma is also a devotee. Bhishma is also a devotee. He also had promised, he had to keep the promise of Bhishma also, and he had to maintain his promise of protecting Arjuna, but he broke his promise. He took the chariot wheel and rushed like a lion to kill Bhishma. And you can see that beautiful painting, a scene where Arjuna is catching hold of Krishna's lotus feet, and Krishna is rushing towards Bhishma, and Bhishma is folding his, opening his arms like this and want to be killed by Krishna. So that is a relationship with what Bhishma has with Krishna, the chivalrous Rasa. And before that, when he promised that this with 5 arrows, Arjuna and Pandavas will be killed, meanwhile this information was known to Krishna, because he sarvasya chaham hridisannavishtaha matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. He reminds Arjuna, do one thing, this has happened, you go to Duryodhana and ask him these 5 arrows. Then Arjuna said, why will he give these 5 arrows? No, remember, once upon a time you had pleased Duryodhana and he had given a word, he had given a promise that you can ask me anything, and that point of time you had said, I will ask when time comes. And this is the time, my dear Arjuna, jao or pucho us 5 arrows ko. And in the night he goes to the camp of Duryodhana, and Duryodhana welcomed him. That's a sportive spirit, that's a Kshatriya spirit. And Duryodhana asked, why have you come here at the dead of the night, Arjuna? You want the battle to be stopped? You want the kingdom to be given to you back? Or you take, well, the sportive spirit was there, but Arjuna said, no, I have not come for any of these things. I have just come for requesting me something. Yeah, pucho, kya chahiye to? You can take the kingdom also. Pucho, no. And Arjuna said, I want those 5 arrows which Bhishma had given to you. And Duryodhana, being a Kshatriya, that arrows would have killed all 5 Pandavas. But still, keeping the sportive spirit of a Kshatriya, he handed over because he had given a word. See, the promise has been kept by Duryodhana, the promise has been kept by Bhishma, the promise has kept by Arjuna. On the contrary, Krishna, who was supposed to be keeper of the promises, for his devotees' sake, he broke the promise. For him, his own name and fame doesn't matter. We live in Gujarat. Run chod, he is called as. He ran away from the battlefield for his devotee. So that is Krishna for his devotee. See, in the heart, he reminded Arjuna at that time also, now also on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Constantly, consistently assisting Arjuna to win the battle. On every day, on 18 days of battlefield, it was Arjuna who was getting defeated single day. But it was timely intervention of Krishna which saved the match for him. Another wonderful instance, have you seen postman who would carry letters? You would have seen him, I don't know that you people would have seen, but I have seen. He would go house to house, deliver the post, deliver the message. Such a in that sense, low-grade job. But Krishna took up such job of a messenger. He went to Kaurava's party. Last hope. He personally went and requested, because they are Kshatriya, they are your brothers. They can't live with any other profession, nor begging, nor business, nor serving others. They are Kshatriyas. They need some tract of land. Give them 5 villages. And you know what Duryodhana replied? So like a messenger of Pandavas, he went to Kauravas and requested them. So for his devotees, for his friends, he can do any damn thing. He is ready to become a menial messenger. That is Krishna for you. Because these Pandavas were not ordinary people. They are exalted devotees of the Lord. So exalted that as a kids they were orphaned. Mother was taking care of them. They were given poisoned cake. Their house was set on fire. Their property was usurped. They were cheated in a gambling match. Their beautiful chaste wife was disrobed, insulted in the open assembly. Their sons were killed by Brahmastra. So many people had to sacrifice their life. They had to be in incognito for in forest for 13 years. So much hardships, but still their love for Krishna never even reduced. They never asked Krishna, why me? What have we done? मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? मैं 16 माला कर रहा हूँ, भक्ति कर रहा हूँ, मंदिर जा रहा हूँ. They never asked this question. That is a love and devotion what Arjuna and Pandavas had for Krishna. That is the reason Krishna is ready to do anything and everything for them. Another classical example, when you are fighting, such an intimate friend, close friend, he became a charioteer. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. Now, in the battlefield, when there is chaos and confusion, arrows being thrown, bodies being mutilated, hands and legs being chopped, and this commotion and confusion, there are a lot of sound, it's difficult to verbally communicate the message for Arjuna to Krishna to go to left or to go to right or go straight or to stop. So do you know how this communication was done by Arjuna? He used to literally kick on the body of Krishna. If he kicks on the right hand side, you have to go to right. If he kicks on the left hand side, go to left. If you have to kick straight on his back, you should straight go. If he just touches, he has to stop. His friend Arjuna was kicking the transcendental body of Krishna. That is Krishna's friendship. Samajh mein aa raha hai? Krishna will also drive our life, provided we follow his instruction, tread the path of Arjuna, being bhakta, being friend, and being non-envious. And all three can be simultaneously achieved by the beautiful instruction of Srila Prabhupada. Every one of us, if we can chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He was such a wonderful friend. Imagine every single day on 18 days of battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna was there on the chariot, personally guiding him, sunrise to sunset. Now, after sunset, what does he do? With his sword in the hand, Krishna used to personally guard the Pandavas as a night watchman. Have you seen your security guard standing there out there on the gate? People do respect him. These days you see societies from Noida and Gurgaon getting slapped, security guards getting slapped. Now here is the Lord, Supreme Lord, so merciful, so kind, so compassionate that he's as a night watchman with sword in his hand, he's guarding 24/7. He's eager to protect his devotees because his purpose is one, dharma samsthapanarthaya. Because when devotees are in the helm of affairs of ruling, then the whole dharma will be established. So that is Krishna's compassion for his devotee. And one fine day, when another instance, how Krishna as a friend to Arjuna can do anything for him. He was in Dwarka. Dwarka हमारे गुजरात में पास में है. And Arjuna was in Dwarka, and there was one Brahmana who would come to the palace of Dwarka and curse the king, Ugrasena and Balram and Krishna, for not protecting his sons, because every time his son is born, he would die. Now probably sixth son has died when he came with the dead body of the son and started calling ill names to the kingdom and the king and the rulers. This time when he was bringing this dead body of the son, Arjuna was there. Arjuna said, "What is this?" He said, "In front of king, son is getting killed. That means the king is not proper. That is the responsibility of the king." Now imagine what is the condition of people in Kali Yuga. So Arjuna said, "I will protect your son come what may. Next time you let me know I am here for some time." As usual, the wife of Brahmana was pregnant and she was about to deliver, and the Brahmana asked Arjuna. Arjuna came and guarded the entire area so that even Yamadusas cannot enter. Or in spite of all those powerful weapons which he had to protect the son of Brahmana to be taken away, unfortunately, as usual, the child born, cried and dead. Now Arjuna was in a soup. He was in a fix. He couldn't trust his eyes. He traveled the whole 14 planetary system, went even to the kingdom of death to see whether the Atmas are taken there. He couldn't find those Brahmana sons. He had promised, if I don't protect as usual, I'll commit suicide, I'll jump into the fire. And he had prepared. Then the Brahmana started cursing. I couldn't, even Krishna and Balram couldn't do it. I just trusted you, Arjuna. How fool I am. And this insulted him furthermost, and he decided not to live at all. He was supposed to go and jump into the fire. And meanwhile, Krishna, seeing all these things, bhai, chal baith, chariot mein baith, main leke aa jaunga tere ko. Because Krishna doesn't want his devotee to do that suicide. He just takes Arjuna, and as a story in pastime of the Lord, he travels the outer skirts of the universe. He pierces the universe with this transcendental chariot. The horses were not able to travel. They quickly travel. That is the path of Krishna. That is the chariots of Krishna. That's horses of Krishna. They could pierce the covering of the universe. The covering of the universe is very thick. Anyways, I'll not go to details. And finally, they reached Karadaka Vishnu. It was so dungeon and dark, and it was Sudarshana was again engaged in the service of the Lord to show the path. And finally, they went and met Karadaka Vishnu or Mahavishnu, because Mahavishnu wanted to have darshan of Narana and Arjuna and Krishna. and because of which he had done this pastime. Just imagine, not only going to the kingdom of death, he went directly to Mahavishnu and took the dead sons of Brahmana for his friend and came back and delivered. Because Arjuna didn't take the permission of Krishna before doing this. So Krishna will help. Of course, if you are a devotee of the caliber of the category of Arjuna, you can do any damn thing and Krishna will fulfill that. But otherwise, just follow what the spiritual master is telling, chant 16 rounds and follow the 4 regulative principles, take association of devotees, read Srila Prabhupada books, and will develop the loving, sweet relationship. And for that, the fundamental thing is devotional service. You have to do seva to Krishna, and the highest seva to Krishna, to express our friendliness or servitude, is to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And Krishna tolerates all his devotees' nuances. Just like father tolerates, mother tolerates, master tolerates, in the same way Krishna tolerates all the nuances and shortcomings of his devotees and personally guides and protects them and blesses them. You know the classical story of Sudama also. Sudama didn't want to ask anything from his Lord, but they were so poverty stricken that the wife of Sudama said, at least your friend is rich and at least you can go and visit him. No, we are so poverty stricken, he is so rich, you can ask him something, he will definitely give. But Sudama was not in a mood to go and ask from Krishna. उनका यही मोड था, even if I go, at least बहाना तो मिला जाके भगवान से मिलने के लिए, मेरे friend से मिलने के लिए, I'll just have his darshan and meet him and embrace him, and he was such a great devotee, and but he was going empty-handed. His wife couldn't pack anything for him. She had to beg some morsel of chipped rice and packed it and give it to. That's why when you go to Krishna, you should not go empty-handed. Either you should give your time or give your most valuable asset with yourself, money or grains or fruits, some offering you should give it to Krishna. This is a classical example. Sudama all the way he went, and Krishna received him like a nice Brahmana. Although he was the emperor, because he was a Brahmana, he received him proper because he was acting like a Kshatriya. And he took up the 2 grains from his hand. Although he doesn't wanted to give, he forcefully snatched it from him. When he was able to take the 2nd grain, Lakshmi forbid. With 1 grain, you have conquered the entire creation itself, all the things. But if you take this, Vaikuntha also go and I also will go. Of course, that is the kind of love Krishna has for his devotees. And you know the story of Sudama. It's not that he wanted to offer. In return, he has given him million times, unlimited times. That's why if you have to offer it to Krishna, you will not be a loser. Anyone who offers to Krishna little thing, little water, he becomes Indra, little grains, he becomes Sudama, the great Brahmana. And what to speak if you offer your life to Krishna? Just imagine. And there are other devotees, there are other set of devotees, other set of devotees who have a fraternal relationship. You can have 5 types of relationship with Krishna. One fundamental is Shanta Rasa, second one is Dasya Rasa, and third one is Sakya Rasa, and the fourth one is Vatsalya Rasa, and the highest was Madhurya Rasa. In Sakya Rasa, there are multiple kinds of relationship. Friends of Krishna who are elder to him, like Balram and others, who want to protect Krishna. They would guard Krishna. Krishna is in the center. They would walk in front, seeing whether any demons are attacking him. They will protect Krishna in that format. Loving affection. Say, for example, Balram, he would say to Krishna, today is your birthday. Today is Janmashtami. Don't go near Yamuna. You have to take your supper. You have to, you'll be bathed properly. Please don't go. Please come back. That is the mood of Balram. He just wants to protect Krishna. And there are elderly devotees, like a few devotees who are friends of Krishna in Vrajamandala. They are just thrilled to see Krishna lifting Govardhan in his left hand for 7 days and 7 days. So they, out of love for Krishna, they are telling to Krishna, Krishna, you're holding Govardhana for 7 nights and 7 days. Your left hand might be aching. So do one thing, you at least transfer the Govardhana to Sudama. He can hold. It's for some time. They don't know who Krishna is. And even if you don't want to handle, at least hand over to Sudama, fearing he would not be able to lift Govardhana, at least move it towards your right hand. At least your left hand, we can massage it. See, this is so sweet, loving relationship what the Gopas had with Krishna. So we can also have that loving relationship. Shukadev Goswami in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when he understands how Krishna's, Gopa's friends are fighting with Krishna, stealing his food from Krishna, and playing with Krishna, jollying with Krishna, lying down with Krishna, enjoying tending cows with Krishna, having trip with Krishna. He just wondered, Krita Punja Punjara, what kind of austerities these Golas would have done, this cowherd boys would have done, that they have the audacity, they have the fortune, they have the privilege to dance with Krishna, play with Krishna, fight with Krishna, eat with Krishna, lie down with Krishna, enjoy with Krishna, be in Vrindavan in his Leela. What fortune they have done, what tapasya they have done. Shukadeva Goswami was bewildered. And there are some younger friends of Krishna, like Vishala and others. They would just want to be with Krishna. Vishala, say for example, he would come early in the morning to Krishna's home. He would be waiting outside Krishna's home. He would get ready and rush from his home to meet Krishna in early morning. He just be waiting outside the house. Meanwhile, Yashoda Maya would call him, "Come Vishala, come inside, come inside." And with the permission of Mother Yashoda, Krishna would be decorated by Vishala. And meanwhile, Krishna would be having his flute in his hand. He would hit on the head of Vishala. And meanwhile, Yashoda Maya would tell you, "Why you are teasing your friend? Why you are hurting him?" And both of them would laugh. So that is the intimate relationship. And there are another set of friends of Krishna who would come and very intimate, like Madhumangala. So he is very fond of eating laddus. He was a big foodie. And in exchange of laddu, he can give any blessings. He is a Brahmana friend of Krishna and very intimate friend of Krishna. He would say, "Give me more laddus, feed me nicely, I would bless you so that you can have Kripa of Srimati Radharani." These are kind of friends Krishna had. And there is another set of Krishna who would come behind and close his eyes and ask the guests. As kids, we always used to play, because these things are originally with Krishna and Gopas. That's why, being his sons, his part and parcel, we also have the tendency to play like that. Another set of Krishna, they would, Sridhama, he would be so much worried, In one statement, in the Nectar of Devotion, he would say, "Krishna, you left us in the Yamuna. We were so grief-stricken. We were searching you frenetically. Where did you go? Don't punish us like this. If you want to pacify us, just allow us to be embraced by you." You not present in front of us has created havoc in our life. That is a loving, sweet relationship what Krishna has with his Gopabala friends. And there are some friends of Krishna, like we have that set of friends in the schools and colleges, like some friends, like they're very talkative. They just go on blabbering something. So there are some talkative friends of Krishna. Some friends of Krishna are very simple, very humble and meek. Some friends of Krishna are in a very argumentative mode, debating mode. Some friends of Krishna, they just want to fight with Krishna and defeat Krishna, and Krishna allows them to be defeated, allows him to be defeated by these friends of Krishna. And some devotees are very gentle, very lovable, very pleasing. And some friends of Krishna are very meant to give pleasure to Krishna. This only purpose is that, of course, all the Gopas are meant only for that. The aim is to just please Krishna. And there are some jokers, friend of Krishna, who would crack up wonderful jokes so that Krishna can laugh and enjoy. So this loving relationship all of us can have. And this privilege, this fortune is given to all of us, those who are hearing this. Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Pae Bhakti Lata Bija. From one Brahmanda to another Brahmanda, the Jivas are wandering. Who is the most fortunate? Who got the seed of loving devotional service to Krishna? And just by chanting 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every single day, following the 4 regulative principles, Swami Prabhupada has assured us he will take us back home, back to our Godhead, because he is the pure devotee of Krishna, is the empowered Acharya, and he is the commander-in-chief of Lord Chaitanya's army. He has been sent by Krishna from Goloka Vrindavana for this purpose only, I and you, and he has a special key of the back door of Goloka Vrindavana. Even if you don't perform also, somehow he hold on to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. He will take you back home, back to God in this life only. All you need to do is Chant every single day attentively, or endeavor to chant attentively 16 rounds of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then you can dance with Krishna, you can play with Krishna like this Gopas. That day is not far if you tread the path of spirituality given by Swami Srila Prabhupada. So on this occasion of Friendship Day, we should take a vow that we will fulfill the desires of our friend. And the desire of the friend is expressed in Bhagavad Gita in the 18th chapter. He said, I want this message to be shared to others. I want this to be known that his friend, his very dearmost friend, we need to share this knowledge, this information, this love of Krishna to others. When we do that, we become extremely dear to Krishna. Not extremely, very, very dear to Krishna. Not only very, very dear, so much dear, there cannot be any person more dear than him who takes this kind of risk to spread the message of Bhagavad Gita. Nacha priyakirtamaha. There is no person more dear than him who takes all kinds of risks to spread this message of him. So all folks, you should take it seriously yourself. Chant Hare Krishna, Janma Sartak Kari, then Karo Paropakar and share with the others, and Krishna will be very happy. And just imagine if you can do this, if you can make Krishna smile by preaching the message of Krishna consciousness, what else do you want? What? Just imagine if you render little service to Krishna, if Krishna blesses you, if Krishna is pleased with you, if you can get a smile on Krishna's face, and imagine if Krishna becomes your friend, what else you want? Just imagine. Thank you so much. We'll meet next Thursday. Until then, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.